Alberta Conservative MP Damien Carrick. He stepped aside just maybe about a half an hour ago, announced it, that he is stepping aside so that Pierre Poilievre can come home where he belongs, where he's from, to beautiful Alberta. Now, I don't know what that means for Damien Carrick, but boy, the separatists would probably love to have a strong, stable hand guiding their way. I don't know what he feels about those things, but there's an opportunity there. But Battle River Crowfoot is the riding. It has been conservative in all of its iterations. You know how boundaries get redrawn and they encompass other ones. But this is a massive, massive riding. This is a riding that is bigger than many European countries. And it has been conservative in its entire history, all the way back to 1935, except for 2 terms. So this is a deep, deep, deep blue conservative riding. And I cannot stress that enough. It's routinely won with over 80% of the votes going to the Conservatives. In fact, in 2019, I think Carrick won with 86%. It was, if not the highest, one of the highest Conservative turnouts in the entire country. He just won it. Just now with 82% of the vote. So the Conservatives are very clearly not taking any chances with Poilievre not taking this seat. And we just heard from the Prime Minister saying there's going to be no hanky-panky. He'll call the by-election as soon as possible. And I think the Conservatives were waiting on that because he could wait for 6 months and the Conservatives wouldn't have a leader in the House, and they'd probably have to rely on Andrew Scheer, who is a much better MP now than he was when he was the leader. I actually really quite enjoy him now. So I would have been fine with that, but it also would not have been fair because you really want to see Poilievre versus Carney in the House of Commons.
And Sheila, you know, because we are like the major league umpire behind home plate, calling him as we see him, if Mark Carney is being true to his word, we got to give him props that there will be no nonsense, that it will happen as soon as possible, I think his words were. And that's fantastic because that has not always been the case. Sometimes a sitting government can wait till the very last day and draw it out for months. So I guess 2 questions, Sheila. When we look at the words as soon as possible, what are we talking about here in terms of the number of weeks? And also, this must be very tough for Mr. Carrick. I mean, I've never run for political office. I don't think you have either. But I imagine even in a safe riding, you're a lot of, you know, shoe leather being worn out, going door to door to door. Obviously, you believe in the party, believe in its policies. You want to be the sitting member of Parliament. To give up your seat, to take one for the team, I think that's just an incredible thing that this person has done. Maybe he realizes that it is indeed for the greater good. We haven't been on since the election, Sheila, you and I, but I think it would be an enormous mistake to have anyone else lead this party other than Pierre Poilievre. And
I completely agree. He's really engaged the young people and built this broad coalition of new Canadians. Like if you look at the heavily immigrant communities in Toronto, they staved off a Carney majority. They really did. And I think that falls down to conservative social values. And, you know, we have this coalition of Indigenous chiefs now. 2 of them are elected for the Conservatives, one in Edmonton and one in BC. And then just young people, business people, young working class families, unionized, private sector union tradespeople. It's an incredibly lasting, broad coalition that Poilievre has built, and he was the guy who did it. I think it would be a huge mistake. And I think he'll be welcomed back to Alberta with open arms. And I got to say, what an honorable thing that Damien Carrick is doing. He could have been the MP forever there. Forever. Yeah. I think basically Kevin Sorensen, who was there before, just sort of got tired of being an MP, but he could have died in office. And same thing in this riding. And I think this encompasses CFB Wainwright. So there's a military base there. Like this is farmers. This is coal country. The military could not be like the numbers play out. Couldn't be more conservative. Keurig could have been the MP there from beyond the grave. Like, they would have just kept voting Conservative there. And so this is an honorable thing that he has done, and we should, as Canadians who oppose Mark Carney as the Prime Minister, should all be grateful. I think we all owe him some serious thanks.
And Sheila, maybe this is too inside baseball, but in terms of the quid pro quo for Mr. Keurig, is he given anything in return for this?
I doubt it. I mean, I think he could probably do anything he wanted at this point in the Conservative movement. Okay. But I mean, he's got his pension, and I think he'll be just fine.
Well, hats off to him then. That's a very good thing he's done. And,
noble.
Yep. And I imagine it is true that after a defeat, like the Conservative charters, they have to have a leadership review. And I don't see any appetite there, Sheila, for the knives coming out. I mean, certainly after Aaron O'Toole lost, you could hear, it was like being at the pro shop at the hockey rink, the skate blades being grinded, except they were knives, right?
I don't
think
you
really
really got
that vibe, right? But not now.
Yeah, but no, I mean, if you do see it, it's people like Bob Fife, the congenital liar, saying he's hearing from Conservative insiders. Which one, Corey?
Yeah.
Doug Ford's people, you hearing from them? Like, I used to respect Bob Fife even when he was wrong. or like, even if I disagreed with his takes. For example, he's the guy who snapped that picture of Hamish Marshall and me at the 2018 Conservative AGM in Halifax. It went around the world like, oh, he is with the bigoted Rebel News. And it was just like a friendly hello as he walked past. I guess I should have thrown a drink at him. Maybe that would have been better for Bob Fife. But even if, I don't care if these people like me or whatever, or they don't know me, so it's okay for them to be wrong about the kind of person that I am or my relationships with people inside Conservative circles. But when he flat out effing lied about what happened and what went down at the debates, I just making things up at a whole cloth. I don't trust a single word that he says. So given what I know now about Bob Fife, are there even Conservative insiders telling him this? Like, at first I would think, okay, these are Doug Ford Conservative insiders sowing the seeds of discontent to the mainstream media. But now I think he could be just completely making it up because the man is a liar.
100%. And Sheila, I mean, I can't help think back a couple of weeks ago to the debates. It was talk about breaking the fourth wall. Talk about seeing, it was just, I mean, I had a ringside seat. I saw everything, all the shenanigans going down. You almost have to wonder if it was rigged, if this wasn't just that Hill Times reporter losing his marbles on the spur of the moment, but that this was kind of a planned coup by the mainstream media. I wouldn't put it past them, but that was a disgraceful day, and it had nothing to do with us and the other independent journalists there. It had everything to do with the mainstream taxpayer-funded journalists. But you know what? They got the reward. Isn't Carney going to top up the CBC by $150 million? Yeah. and it wasn't there talk about some legislation being drafted so that the CBC could never be demonetized by the government? Could never be canceled. So keep your eye on that too. So
and the online harms bill is coming back. They're talking about it today.
Yep.
So I saw Stephen Guilbeault. I responded to a tweet from him, or an X post. I don't want to call it tweets because that was when it was a time of censorship. These are X posts, and Stephen Guilbeault was on there promising to bring back the Online Harms Act, talking about the Online News Act and how it protects journalism, except now people can't consume journalism the way they want to consume it because Meta didn't pay the shakedown. So it's dark times ahead for independent journalism, for sure.
Do you agree with me? It is time to make Canada great again. And that is why we at Rebel News have teamed up with MCGA hats to introduce, well, the fashion sensation of 2025. Oh, and by the way, these beautiful hats, they are made in Canada. We don't rely on cheap imports coming over from China. So what are you waiting for, folks? Show your pride. This is the perfect thing for a patriot to wear, or maybe there's a patriot in your life that you would like to gift such a hat. Please go to mcgahats.ca. That's mcgahats.ca. Don't be shy about it. Wear this cap. Let everybody know you want to make Canada great again.